What if there were places on Earth so remote and untouched that even the bravest adventurers think twice before approaching? These isolated corners of the Earth, untouched by time and human presence, carry an air of mystery and fascination. But what makes these places so unreachable? And what secrets lie beneath their impenetrable barriers? Let's explore the untold stories of the world's most inaccessible wonders. Mariana Trench. The Mariana Trench, the deepest oceanic trench on Earth, stretches over 1,580 miles in the western Pacific near Guam. The Challenger Deep, the trench's southernmost section, is nearly 11,000 meters beneath the ocean surface. This pressure is over 1,000 times that at sea level, creating an environment that challenges life as we know it. The trench also hosts the Serena Deep, the second deepest point in the ocean at 35,462 feet. Despite its harsh conditions, the trench is teeming with life. Unique species like the Dumbo octopus and anglerfish thrive in complete darkness and freezing temperatures. Hydrothermal vents in the trench support organisms that rely on chemosynthesis, a process that uses chemical reactions for energy instead of sunlight. Human exploration has been extremely limited. The first manned descent occurred in the year 1960 when Jacques Piccard and U.S. Navy Lieutenant Don Walsh piloted the bathyscaphe Tristan to the Challenger Deep. Over 5 decades later, in the year 2012, filmmaker James Cameron made a historic solo dive, gathering valuable data. Still, less than 5% of the trench has been explored, leaving many questions unanswered. To protect this unique environment, the Mariana Trench Marine National Monument was established in the year 2009, covering around 95,216 square miles. This designation safeguards the trench and surrounding volcanic regions, balancing preservation with the desire for exploration. While the Mariana Trench pushes the limits of life deep beneath the ocean, Heard and McDonald Islands offer a glimpse into life at the edge of the world, where fire and ice shape one of the most untouched landscapes on Earth. Heard and McDonald Islands. Located in the southern Indian Ocean, Heard Island and McDonald Islands are some of the most remote and inhospitable places on Earth. They lie about 4,000 kilometers southwest of Perth, Australia, and 2,000 kilometers north of Antarctica's Davis Station. Discovered in the year 1853 by American sailor John Heard, Heard Island spans roughly 368 square kilometers. It is dominated by Big Ben, a massive volcanic complex crowned by Mawson Peak, Australia's tallest mountain, at 2,745 meters, over 500 meters higher than Mount Kosciuszko. Glaciers cover nearly 80% of the island, reflecting its harsh, icy climate. About 44 kilometers to the west lie the McDonald Islands, a smaller group consisting of McDonald Island, Flat Island, and Meyer Rock. Named after their discoverer, William McDonald, these islands have experienced dramatic volcanic activity since the 1980s, doubling their area and offering a rare chance for geologists to study active geological processes. Beyond their geology, these islands serve as a sanctuary for wildlife, hosting penguins, seals, and seabirds. Designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in the year 1997, they fall under the strictest nature reserve protection, Level 1A of the International Union for Conservation of Nature. This ensures they remain pristine and largely untouched, with human visitation extremely rare and tightly regulated. Historically, sealers arrived in the late 1800s, nearly decimating the seal populations. Claimed by Britain in 1910 and later transferred to Australia in 1947, the islands are now managed by the Australian Antarctic Division. Access is granted only to researchers with permits, and their isolation and extreme weather make them an invaluable site for studying climate change in an environment free from human impact. What drives people to endure isolation on Tristan da Cunha, a distant outpost of humanity, when places like Heard and McDonald Islands remain entirely uninhabited, ruled only by nature? Before we continue, I have a special 10-second request for all of you listening. If you can help me in any way, just press the notification bell and hit that subscribe button. It means the world. It really supports this channel, And if you do that for me, I promise my team and I will do everything we can to make this show even better for you. Deal? Tristan da Cunha. Tristan da Cunha, one of the world's most remote inhabited archipelagos, lies nearly 1,400 miles south of St. Helena in the South Atlantic Ocean. Getting there is no small feat. Travelers from the United States must first take a 15-hour flight to Cape Town, South Africa, followed by a 6-day boat journey. With no airstrip due to the rugged terrain, sea travel is the only way to reach this isolated island. As of 2023, Tristan da Cunha is home to just 238 residents, all living in the island's sole settlement, Edinburgh of the Seven Seas. The community is largely self-sufficient, relying on fishing, farming, and crafting for income. Modern conveniences are limited. There's a single cafe, a small hospital, a school, and slow internet service. The island lacks a phone network or local newspaper, so word of mouth remains the main mode of communication. Tristan da Cunha has a fascinating history. Discovered in 1506 by Portuguese explorer Tristan da Cunha, it became a permanent settlement in 1816 when a British garrison was established. The islanders, descendants of settlers from the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, Italy, and the United States, share only 7 surnames. They even have their own unique dialect of English, spoken by the world's smallest linguistic community. Education is provided in a 5-classroom school for children aged 3 to 16, while healthcare and spiritual needs are met by visiting professionals who stay for short periods. Tourism is heavily restricted. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, the island has been closed to visitors, with plans to reopen only after booster vaccinations are completed. Even under normal circumstances, access is rare, as only a few fishing vessels visit each year, making this remote destination one of the hardest to reach on Earth. Would you be willing to spend a year on Tristan da Cunha, cut off from the conveniences of modern life, to experience its unique culture and isolation firsthand? Let us know in the comments below, and stay tuned for more incredible stories about the world's most remote and fascinating places. Motuo County. Motuo, a county in eastern Tibet, is often called China's last frontier. Despite advancements in infrastructure, it remains the only county in China without a fully accessible highway. Motuo covers over 30,000 square kilometers and has a population of around 10,000 people, primarily from the Menba and Luoba ethnic groups. The region's subtropical humid climate creates spring-like conditions year-round, with dense forests, abundant rainfall, and unique biodiversity. Surprisingly, you can find tropical fruits like bananas and pineapples growing here, even in snow-capped mountains. Tibetan Buddhist scripture considers Motuo the purest and holiest region in Tibet, earning it the name the Hidden Lotus. This spiritual significance, combined with its isolation, makes it a sacred and mysterious destination. Getting to Motuo is no easy feat. The trek from Pai Village to Motuo, a grueling 4-day journey, challenges hikers with landslides, mudslides, and treacherous terrain. Although the completion of the Motuo Highway in 2013 connected the county to the outside world for the first time, the route is still vulnerable to natural disruptions. For adventurers, this journey offers unparalleled rewards with views of dramatic waterfalls, lush forests, and the breathtaking Brahmaputra River. Motuo is also home to the Motuo State Natural Reserve. Often called the Natural Museum of Tibet, its ecosystems range from tropical vegetation to cold weather flora, making it one of the most diverse regions in the world. Point Nemo. Point Nemo is known as the oceanic pole of inaccessibility. Nestled in the South Pacific Ocean, this location is the farthest point from any landmass on the planet, an astounding 2,688 kilometers from the nearest shore. Point Nemo is equidistant from 3 of the world's most remote landmasses: Ducie Island in the Pitcairn Islands to the north, Motu Nui near Easter Island to the northeast, and Mar Island off Antarctica's coast to the south. This isolation is so extreme that the closest humans to Point Nemo are often astronauts aboard the International Space Station when it passes overhead, orbiting about 400 kilometers above Earth. The waters surrounding Point Nemo form part of the South Pacific Gyre, a massive circular current that creates an oceanic desert. This current prevents nutrient-rich waters from reaching the area, resulting in minimal marine life and some of the clearest waters on the planet. Almost nothing survives here, making it eerily quiet and pristine. Due to its remoteness, Point Nemo has been designated as a spacecraft cemetery since the 1970s. Over 300 decommissioned spacecraft, including satellites and space stations, have been deliberately deorbited here to avoid risks to populated areas. And the legacy continues. NASA plans to bring down the International Space Station in this very spot in the year 2031. The name Point Nemo derives from Latin, meaning no one, and is a nod to Captain Nemo from Jules Verne's classic novel 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Interestingly, this isolated location even inspired H.P. Lovecraft's story The Call of Cthulhu, where he placed the fictional underwater city of Arlaye nearby, adding to its air of mystery. While Point Nemo takes us to a desolate spot in the ocean, where even astronauts feel closer than humanity, Cape Melville unveils an isolated fortress of nature on land, hiding life forms and secrets untouched by time. Cape Melville. Cape Melville is a rugged headland on the Cape York Peninsula in Australia, where colossal granite boulders form an impenetrable barrier, preserving a lost world of unique ecosystems and species. Cape Melville's landscape is dominated by massive black granite boulders, some as large as houses, piled hundreds of meters high. These formations have shielded the rainforest from bushfires and created a humid, protected environment unlike any other. In 2013, scientists led by Dr. Conrad Hoskin from James Cook University uncovered species here that exist nowhere else, including the Cape Melville, leaf-tailed gecko, shade skink, and blotched boulder frog. Even today, much of Cape Melville remains unexplored due to its challenging terrain. Scientists believe more undiscovered species could be hiding within this natural fortress. The area is also an important cultural site for the Yithuwara people, the traditional custodians known as the Saltwater people. Stanley Island, one of the nearby islands, features Aboriginal rock art considered among the most significant in Australia, offering a glimpse into a culture deeply connected to the land. Visitors can access Cape Melville National Park by four-wheel drive vehicles during the dry season, between May and November. The park boasts dramatic coastlines, mangroves, heathlands, and rainforests, offering a rare opportunity for adventure. However, its remote location demands careful preparation and self-sufficiency. Cerro Sarisariñama. Nestled deep within the Sarisariñama National Park in Venezuela, near the border with Brazil, Cerro Sarisariñama stands as a natural marvel and an enigma. This tepuy, or table-topped mountain, is cloaked in legends and biodiversity, offering insights into a world few have ever seen. Unlike most tepuys, this place is covered by dense forests at its summit. This isolation has nurtured a unique ecosystem brimming with endemic plant and animal species. Adding to its mystique are the legends of the indigenous Yaquana people, who believe the mountain's caves are home to evil. The most striking aspect of this place is its massive sinkholes. There are 4 in total, with Sima Humboldt being the largest, measuring 352 meters across and 314 meters deep. At its base, it expands further to 502 meters in width. Nearby lies Sima Martel, equally impressive at 248 meters deep. These gigantic circular sinkholes are located only 700 meters apart, and the aerial view of these formations is both rare and breathtaking. Pilot Harry Gibson first spotted the sinkholes in 1961, but it wasn't until 1974 that an expedition ventured into this forbidding terrain. Using ropes, explorers descended into the sinkholes, only to face significant challenges climbing out due to the widening shape of the chasms. With limited options, they resorted to cutting trees to clear space for a helicopter landing. This effort prompted concerns about the destruction of rare species, underscoring the fragility of this unique ecosystem. 2 years later, a second expedition arrived better equipped and discovered a third sinkhole, Cima de la Lluvia, which housed a quartzite cave. For over 2 decades, this cave, measuring 1.35 kilometers in length, held the record as the longest quartzite cave in the world. But what if I told you there's another towering wonder nearby, one that shares a similar ancient mystique yet boasts an entirely different story, complete with carnivorous plants, prehistoric legends, and a journey that has inspired explorers for centuries? Stay tuned. Mount Roraima. Mount Roraima, a flat-topped mountain at the tripoint of Venezuela, Brazil, and Guyana, rises to 2,810 meters, making it the highest peak in the Pacaraima Range. Formed from Precambrian sandstone over 2 billion years ago, this natural wonder stands as one of the world's oldest geological formations. The mountain's isolation has created a unique ecosystem. Its summit hosts carnivorous plants like pitcher plants and sundews, thriving in nutrient-poor soils, as well as rare amphibians and insects. Culturally, Mount Roraima has inspired works of fiction, including Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's The Lost World, which imagined a plateau inhabited by prehistoric creatures, and the 2009 animated film Up, which depicted a similar mountain. The first recorded ascent of Mount Roraima was in 1884 by a British expedition led by Sir Everard M. Thurn. The team used a natural ramp on the Venezuelan side, a route still followed by modern trekkers. This challenging terrain and remote location have preserved the mountain's pristine condition, making it one of the least disturbed ecosystems in the world. For adventurous travelers, the journey begins in Paratepuy, Venezuela, and typically spans 6 to 8 days. Trekkers cross savannas, rivers, and the steep La Rampa path to reach the summit. Though the trek is moderate in difficulty, unpredictable weather and rugged terrain require preparation and experienced guides. Ilha de Queimada Grande. Ilha de Queimada Grande, better known as Snake Island, lies roughly 33 kilometers off the coast of São Paulo, Brazil, and is infamous for its staggering population of venomous snakes. This small island, spanning just 430,000 square meters, is home to one of the deadliest snakes on the planet, the golden lancehead pit viper, a species found nowhere else. The golden lancehead thrives in this environment due to the absence of natural predators and a plentiful supply of food, mainly migratory birds that land on the island. Estimates from recent studies suggest there are between 2,000 and 4,000 snakes on Snake Island, averaging 1 snake per 75 square meters. The island's rugged terrain includes patches of rainforest, rocky outcrops, and grassy clearings, shaped in part by historical deforestation. To protect both people and the snakes, the Brazilian government has prohibited public access to the island. Only the Brazilian Navy visits periodically to maintain the lighthouse, and researchers granted special permits must be accompanied by licensed medical professionals. Despite these strict regulations, there are reports of illegal activities by biopirates seeking to capture the golden lanceheads for sale to collectors or pharmaceutical companies. However, such attempts come with not only legal repercussions but also the extreme danger of venturing onto the island without proper preparation. Would you dare to visit such a perilous place? Or does the island's eerie reputation make it better left untouched? Let us know your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe and follow the channel to discover more interesting things. Pitcairn Islands. The Pitcairn Islands, a British overseas territory in the southern Pacific Ocean, consist of 4 volcanic islands: Pitcairn, Henderson, Ducie, and Oino. Among these, only Pitcairn Island is inhabited, making it home to one of the smallest and most secluded communities in the world. Established over 200 years ago, it is now home to a population of only 50 people as of 2024. Reaching the island is no easy feat. With no airport and difficult docking conditions, the island relies on the MV Silver Supporter, a dual-purpose vessel that connects Pitcairn to Tahiti and Mangareva once a month. This lifeline delivers supplies and serves as the island's primary connection to the outside world. The people of Pitcairn are self-sufficient, relying on fishing, farming, and crafting to sustain their community. They speak both English and Pitcairn, a unique Creole language blending 18th century English and Tahitian. The island features a small school with just 3 students, a health clinic, a post office, and a store. Beyond basic education, children typically travel to New Zealand for further schooling. For those who manage to visit, Pitcairn offers extraordinary experiences, from whale watching to stargazing under some of the world's darkest skies. The island is also known for its distinctive honey, which reflects the pristine environment of this remote location. Namuli Mountains. Mount Namuli, standing at 2,420 meters, is Mozambique's second highest peak and the tallest in Zambezia province. Part of the Namuli Massif, this granite monolith rises over 1,600 meters above the surrounding plateau, making it both a geological and ecological marvel. The mountain is a biodiversity hotspot, home to numerous endemic species such as the Namuli apalis, a rare bird, and Vincent's bush squirrel. Its unique ecosystems, preserved on the steep slopes and higher elevations, have drawn biologists and conservationists eager to study its flora and fauna. The mountain is also a vital water source, feeding rivers like the Lacuno and Roraima. Tea cultivation dominates the lower slopes, with the nearby town of Guru acting as Mozambique's tea industry hub. Middle slopes are used for various agricultural activities, while indigenous forests are largely confined to higher altitudes and stream corridors. These forests are critical for biodiversity and water conservation in the region. Mount Namuli holds cultural importance for the local Makua people. It also has a history as a place of refuge during Mozambique's civil war, making it not only a natural wonder but also a site of historical significance. The mountain was first surveyed in 1886 by British consul Henry Edward O'Neill, with later ornithological expeditions in the early 20th century revealing its avian diversity. However, conflicts and difficult access halted significant research until the late 20th century. While the climb itself is not technically challenging, the mountain's isolation and cultural importance have limited attempts to reach its summit. Danakil Depression. The Danakil Depression, located in Ethiopia's remote Afar region near Eritrea, is both one of the hottest places on the planet and one of the lowest, sitting approximately 100 meters below sea level. With average daily temperatures of 34 degrees Celsius and less than 100 millimeters of annual rainfall, this region is as harsh as it is unique. This place lies at the junction of three tectonic plates along the East African Rift, resulting in extraordinary volcanic and hydrothermal activity. The Ilha volcano contains one of the world's rare permanent lava lakes, while the Dalal area is renowned for its surreal landscapes of sulfuric acid pools, salt formations, and toxic hot springs. These features resemble Mars, drawing scientists studying the extremes of life on Earth. This region is also home to over 30 active and dormant volcanoes, vast salt flats, and ancient lake remnants, including frozen black lava flows. It was here, in 1974, that the famous 3.2-million-year-old hominid fossil Lucy was discovered, a landmark in the study of human origins. Despite its unforgiving environment, the Afar people have called the Danakil Depression home for centuries. These resilient nomads mine salt from the expansive flats, transporting it by camel caravan, preserving ancient traditions in a region few could endure. The Danakil Depression's otherworldly beauty has begun to attract adventurous travelers, but the extreme heat, remote location, and occasional security risks make access difficult. Only organized tours with experienced guides are advised. Would you dare visit a place where survival defies the odds? Let us know your thoughts, and stay tuned for more incredible locations. Bouvet Island. Bouvet Island, a volcanic landmass in the South Atlantic Ocean, is the most isolated island on Earth. It lies about 1,600 kilometers north of Antarctica and 2,400 kilometers southwest of South Africa's Cape of Good Hope. This uninhabited Norwegian dependency remains one of the most challenging places to reach. Covering 49 square kilometers, Bouvet Island is 93% ice-covered, with its highest point, Olaftoppen, rising 780 meters above sea level. Steep, icy coastlines make access nearly impossible, and the island's harsh climate further deters human activity. Discovered on January 1st of the year 1739 by French explorer Jean-Baptiste Charles Bouvet de Island, the island was mischarted and remained undiscovered for decades. In 1825, British whaler George Norris landed on the island, naming it Liverpool Island, but it was annexed by Norway in 1927 and declared a dependency in 1930. Despite its frozen terrain, Bouvet Island serves as a vital habitat for wildlife, including penguins, seals, and seabirds such as snow petrels. Recognizing its ecological value, Norway designated the island a nature reserve in 1971. Human presence is limited to scientific installations, a weather station established in 1977, and a Norwegian research station on the Nyroisa Plateau in 1996. The island also holds intriguing mysteries. In 1964, an abandoned lifeboat was found in a lagoon with no sign of its occupants, sparking questions that remain unanswered. Additionally, the Vila incident. In 1979, a mysterious flash detected near Bouvet Island led to speculation about a secret nuclear test, though this theory has never been confirmed. Kerguelen Islands. The Kerguelen Islands, also called the Desolation Islands, are a remote archipelago in the southern Indian Ocean. Located over 3,300 kilometers from Madagascar, these islands are among the least accessible locations on the planet. The archipelago consists of one large island, Grande, and approximately 300 smaller islands and islets, covering a total area of about 7,215 square kilometers. The rugged terrain is shaped by volcanic activity, glaciers, and deep fjords. Frequent high winds, persistent cloud cover, and chilly temperatures define its harsh climate. Despite the inhospitable conditions, the Kerguelen Islands are a haven for wildlife. Seabirds such as albatrosses and petrels nest here, and marine mammals, including seals and whales, frequent the surrounding waters. The island's plant life is sparse but notable, with species like the Kerguelen cabbage adapted to survive the cold and windy environment. There are no permanent residents on the Kerguelen Islands. Instead, France maintains a rotating population of 45 to 100 personnel, including scientists, engineers, and support staff, who live at Port Oe Français, the main settlement. This small community focuses on research in biology, geology, and meteorology, taking advantage of the island's pristine conditions. Accessing the Kerguelen Islands is an adventure in itself. There are no airports, and the only way to reach the archipelago is by ship from Reunion Island, a journey that takes approximately 2 weeks. This extreme isolation has preserved the island's ecosystems but also makes them one of the least visited places on Earth. North Sentinel Island. North Sentinel Island, part of India's Andaman and Nicobar Islands, is home to the Sentinelese, one of the last uncontacted tribes on Earth. This island and its people are protected by strict Indian laws that prohibit any outside contact, ensuring their isolation and preserving their way of life. The Sentinelese are thought to have lived on North Sentinel Island for an estimated 60,000 years. They are hunter-gatherers, relying on the island's natural resources for food and survival. Their fierce resistance to outside contact is well documented, and attempts to approach the island are often met with hostility. In fact, in 2024, the Sentinelese remain one of the world's most enigmatic societies. In January 1991, a brief peaceful interaction was recorded by the Anthropological Survey of India. However, this contact did not lead to ongoing communication or studies. The island remains unexplored, with even its flora and fauna largely undocumented. The Sentinelese fiercely protect their land, making it clear they want no interference from the outside world. Culturally, the Sentinelese are believed to live in small, temporary huts and use canoes to fish in shallow waters. Their language, distinct and unrelated to those of neighboring tribes, reflects their thousands of years of isolation. These barriers to communication and access make their way of life one of the least understood in modern anthropology. Interestingly, North Sentinel Island has also been designated a globally important bird area, further highlighting its ecological value. Yet even its natural environment remains a mystery due to the island's inaccessibility. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support means a lot to us. Click on the video that appears on your screen right now. I'm sure you'll love this content. Comment below about the next country you'd like to see featured on our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for being with us. Leave a comment, like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button for more exciting videos. See you next time.